We are a covenantal community founded on love and a common devotion to our free faith. We welcome each other into this virtual space. We especially welcome our visitors. Perhaps you are new and seeing this YouTube page later. We are so glad that you are here. We invite you to contact us in the comments or via our website or Facebook page. We join with all member congregations of the Unitarian Universalist Association in affirming and promoting the inherent dignity and worth of every person, justice, equity, and compassion in all human relations and all systems of society. We bear witness to the pain and suffering Black, Indigenous, and other persons of color in all communities across this nation endure. We continue in our commitment to dismantle systems of oppression in order to build a better world. Black Lives Matter. Our church website and Facebook page have information about our activities. Also, members and friends, please remember that the best way to stay updated on congregational news is to read the Newsnet emails, the weekly e-blasts, the monthly online newsletter, and our Facebook posts. We light this chalice as a beacon of our faith and as a reminder of our commitment to a free and responsible search for truth and meaning. We worship together, though we are at a distance, by celebrating that which is sacred to us individually and collectively. And now, Lynn will lead us into our prelude music. All of our music today and every Sunday is performed and recorded by our music director, Dr. Ken McGuire. Our opening words this morning are going to be by Amanda.
Thank you. Our words this morning come from a dear friend of mine, the Reverend Elizabeth Harding, called Between Wonder and Fear. The braver the bull, the wiser the cape. The shorter the joke, the surer the laugh. The sadder the tale, the dearer the joy. The longer the life, the briefer the years. An excerpt from Seesaws by Samuel Hazo. A few years ago, when we had been married only a short time, my husband asked me what I wanted to do on our trip to Sedona, Arizona. I thought a minute, and then I asked, could we go on a hot air balloon ride? He made arrangements. Once in Sedona, we got up at 5 a.m., saw a beautiful sunrise, and watched them ignite the inside of the balloon. We climbed in the basket with a whole bunch of strangers. That was when I told my husband I was afraid of heights. It was an amazing ride. We saw the red hills up close enough to land. We floated past tall trees and watched the sun continue on its journey. I held the basket tightly almost the entire time. The rest of the time I held on to him. The horizon seemed to never end, and it was an amazing flight. Yesterday, I told our 3-year-old son about the ride, and I promised him that he could go too once he's old enough and tall enough to be in the basket. I realized that it would also be terrifying to take him because I'd be worried about his safety. At the same time, I would love to watch his face, to experience his wonder as a parent. Life is full of seesaws. It offers us moments of extreme wonder and moments of fear. There's a choice to be made sometimes between the two. Sometimes you have to live through the fear for the wonder to arrive, and sometimes they arrive separately. You have to hold on to the basket, and sometimes your loved ones, during the ride. But man, is the scenery worth every moment. So ends our reading.
Thank you, Amanda. Our music for offertory and circle of lights today is Come and Go With Me. Please enjoy following your breath as you listen to today's music. While the music plays, please share your joys and sorrows via direct chat to me, and I will read them out for the community after the music ends. Out of gratitude for all we have been given and all we have now, we share our resources because we love and trust each other, and because this church enriches our lives and empowers us to make our world better. We rely upon each other, members and friends, and we appreciate the payment of pledges and the generous donations to support this legacy, this vision, and the work of this church community. Contributions may be made by credit card by using the link that we are dropping into the chat box now, or that link will be available in the video description if you're watching this later. You can also write a check to UUCT. All non-pledged contributions will be divided between our Split the Plate recipient organization and our congregation. If you prefer to write a check to that selected organization, please mail it directly to the address in the link. Feel free to open a new window to make your contribution while the offertory music plays. By the work of our hands and the generosity of our hearts, our love is made real. Thank you for your gifts. Again, while the music plays today, please share your joys and sorrows via direct chat to me, and I will read them out after the music ends. When we gather in loving community, we remember that we do not travel this earth alone. We share our lives and hold each other in a meditative thought and reference. From our chat box this morning, from Deb and Ron, Ron's mother, who is now 91, has found a place in assisted living. This should end some recent difficulties, and our thoughts are with her. Also from Stephen, Richard Keenum is in the hospital, UA in Bessemer. His abdomen got really swollen and he started to get tremors, which is unusual for him. And Steve will keep us updated. We will keep him in our thoughts. We recognize all the burdens and celebrations that went unspoken. May the warm light of our chalice flames bring us peace. And now I'm delighted to turn it over to Amanda, who will have a message for us.
Thank you so much. It is, again, a joy to be with you this morning, 2 weeks in a row. It's, again, like being home. She had fallen asleep with the curtains pulled almost together, leaving a gap just wide enough to perfectly frame the Bank of America building with its dome lit up in gold, towering above the Atlanta skyline. That's how she had drifted off to the land of dreams, staring at that beautiful dome, imagining the hustle and bustle of the big city moving 24 floors below. In those moments before the exhaustion of an adrenaline crash overtook her, anything was possible. And that glittering dome was proof that magic was everywhere. Some of us, sometimes, somewhere along the way, lose that sense of wonder and awe, those moments of possibility and magic. Far too often, they're replaced with dread and the reality that things quite often rarely work out exactly as we plan. We get caught up in the destination and forget to marvel at the journey. My favorite pastime is watching my children as they experience new things, places, and people. Their excitement thrills me. Their trepidation makes me giggle, and their joy is contagious. Quite often, as a minister, I'm asked if I believe in God, and my answer is always the same. I believe that there is a force, be it God or spirit, human connection, or electric current, that lives in the moments just before and just after every new experience. I find this force most often in the young and the very old, for they have a sense of wonder and reverence for all that is possible, a sense that many of us in the middle have tucked away in the pursuit of more practical things. It's in the middle that we get lost in our heads, allowing fear to cloud the excitement of all that could be. Now, I don't think we actually lose this ability to experience awe and joy in the simple wonders of life. I think we just forget to treat ourselves with the same care that we treat the young and the old. For them, we wrap new experiences up with a pretty bow, attempting to make them more exciting and less scary. We ooh and ah for and with them, encouraging them to find the joy. We point out all the good that a change can bring, and we do it with a hopeful spirit, reminding them that they have survived change before, and it brought a world of new adventure and connections. I woke long before her, and the glittering dome that sparked her imagination just hours before was lost in the foggy morning, hidden from view, but still holding the potential to capture the imagination. I wondered, what giant must live up there above those clouds, and what might she be having for breakfast? I imagined the possibility of a misunderstood beast hidden away behind the golden lights, keeping watch over the troubled city below. I smiled and giggled in spite of myself, knowing that the ability to imagine, to play, is surely one of the greatest of life's gifts. As adults, we have responsibilities, burdens that weigh us down and chase us in our dreams. We get lost in the narrative of could've, should've, and would've. There is never enough time, money, or energy. And there is so much that demands our attention and takes up all the space. Our stories are rarely truly our own. They are not written by us, for us, and about us. Instead, it's too often the tale of how life has used and abused us, moving us around like chess pieces on a giant board called life. We don't spend enough time writing and remembering the in-between moments, the moments where love and joy and imagination live, where every ending is filled with the infinite possibility of beginnings. this congregation has come to a fork in the road where the reality of endings feels maybe heavy and freeing at the same time. This chapter of your story is ending. It was the chapter where you owned a building and you gathered there for potlucks and board meetings, pumpkin carvings, and food drives. Now is the chance to outline the next chapter, to dream and remember the possibility that exists in what comes next. I'd like to invite you to settle in where you are. Take a moment, get really comfortable. Let your body sink into the space that it occupies. Take a deep breath. Now, when we know that breath is so precious and so complicated, breathe in and breathe out. Take in as much air as you can, then release it all back out. Keep breathing. Perhaps place your hand on your belly to feel the full intake as it expands and contracts. Breathe. Close your eyes if you like, or just find a place to rest your gaze. Let your mind focus on your breath. In and out. In and out. As you breathe, think about this community and its place in your life. Breathe. In and out. Think about where you sit on a Sunday morning in the sanctuary. Is it on the right, where the sun comes streaming in through the tall windows, warming you to your core? Or do you sit on the left, where you can watch the sun's rays dance through the trees? Breathe. In and out. In and out. Remember all the times you've stood to share a joy or a sorrow that was present in your life. The times the children would proudly tell of lost teeth or the start of cookie selling season. Breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Bring forward memories of Christmas Eve services and conversations over coffee, of dressing a naked Christmas tree with socks and underwear, and filling baskets with food. Breathe. In and out. Let yourself hear the joyful singing of the choir and even the sometimes challenged singing of the congregation. Breathe. Breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. As you bring your focus back to the present space, be aware of the warm presence of your community, both those in your memory and in those gathered together here today. In all that is change in our lives and the life of this church right now, there is one constant. It is found in a place where you sit in the sanctuary on a Sunday morning. It's in the sharing of our joys and sorrows. It's in the rituals and traditions that have persisted throughout the years. There's one thing that remains the same, and that is love. There is an intentional and present love that this community has for each other. Possibility is the motivation that will move you forward. Imagination will open the doors to new adventures together, and humor will carry you through the hard times. But it is love. It is love for each other, this community, this town, this world that will always hold you together. So what comes next? Well, there will be worships and committee meetings, board discussions and morning meditations. There will be births and deaths, milestones and challenges, moments of great joy and times of uncertainty. There will be compromises and unexpected excitement, disagreements, and moments of quiet reflection. Most of all, though, there will be community and stories, both old and new, to be written and shared. The title of this sermon is Who Tells Your Story? And I hope by now you know that you realize that it's you, together, who gets to tell the story of this community. You get to share your good news. You get to be who you are in all of your wonderful, beautiful, complicated messiness. You will tell the stories of the past, dream together about the future, and imagine all that lurks just around the corner in the land of infinite possibilities. As I watched my daughter, face pressed to the glass, staring out over the biggest and brightest city she had ever seen, I smiled to myself, knowing that in that moment, she was dreaming of all that she could be. All that she could be. She was writing the story of possibility and promise with her sight set and her heart open to what was yet to come. Amen, and blessed be.
Thank you. Do we have a question for our breakout rooms? What's the question?
We do. We have two questions, actually. You can choose to pick which one you would like. The first question is, what remains? What is it in this community that you must have in order to know that you are in the presence of joy, love, and the holy? The second question is, what will you do to make sure this community continues to survive?
All right, well, Lynn is about to send us to breakout rooms. We'll have between 6 and 8 minutes to do our talking, and then we'll come back. Our closing words today are from Amanda as well.
Thank you. These words are from Emma Merchant, entitled, I Choose You, I Am Here. I have never been particularly attached to the idea of family. Do you know the Swiss Family Robinson? It's the story of how a family worked together and survived. It never reached beyond a story for me. It never occurred to me that some people actually felt this way towards their bloodline, that lineage was sacred. To me, it always seemed that blood could be spilled. I've always felt that when people identify family as something important and universal, what they are truly addressing is unconditional love. That's not to say that I hate the idea of family, but I've always been more enchanted with the idea of chosen family. The thought that we are each making a choice to be here in this family, in this community, is powerful. We have actively chosen to come and be here. I'm not stuck with you because you're my cousin and I'm not allowed to be rude. I could leave if I wanted to, but I don't because of the way that we have each nurtured this community. I choose to be stuck with you for better or worse. And we have to continuously make this choice over and over again. Every time we attend worship, every time we donate our time and energy, every time we clasp hands in meditation is a promise. I am here for you. The DNA of this community may be metaphorical, but it exists within me. The words covenant and right relations are second nature, placed on my tongue almost since birth, but they are words that I have chosen to bring into my life. My heart beats with the blood of this church, pounding out, I choose you, I am here. This is a safe place, a place of learning, a place of compassion, a space created by the very idea of love. We choose to build a sanctuary because we choose to be together. There is no use for a church of people who hate each other or a church of ghosts. We make the choice to stay stuck together even when we don't want to be in the same room together. But we always come back to the table because we choose to be together. Through thick and thin, we have chosen love. And in hard times, struggling times, times that we face every day, we come together even closer. We make the choice to listen to each other. We make the choice to pick each other up, and we make the choice to love each other. We have built this community with our commitment and our love. We have many different reasons for being here, but I like to think that we all have one common reason for being here: love. Over everything else, we are here because we are the people who choose to love. We do not have a bloodline, but we do have a deep, unconditional love that runs through us all. We choose that love. We choose each other. Our hearts echo, I choose you. I am here. I am here. I am here. Amen and blessed be.
Our postlude music today is When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. As we extinguish this chalice flame, let us remember that we carry the light within ourselves, which brings healing to a broken world and hope for the days ahead. Friends, let us be hopeful for those days ahead, living out love and kindness and working untiringly for justice. The service has ended. We invite those of you who are able to stay for a virtual coffee and conversation. Let us go in peace.